Hey guys, welcome back to Stillness Everyday Podcast. I've got Jake Stone from Corrective Culture back in the studio. I think it was about a year ago we chatted and thought it'd be good to do a recap because their business has grown so much and love to hear what's been going on.
Yeah.
Heard he's just a brown belt now. So
we went from mini Gs to top Gs in 12 months.
So what do you reckon? What's the latest you guys are working on at Corrective Culture?
Man, we're about to launch a new product in maybe less than a month. So it's called King, and it's about it's pretty much like natural steroids for men.
Yeah, right.
So anyone with low testosterone would want to be on this monthly. Yeah, right. And so it's got steroids. I mean, not steroids. Yeah, it's got fucking steroids you inject into your ass. No, it's got testicles. So I found out that Native American tribes for young men who couldn't, impregnate a woman, they'd give them testicles. Yeah, right. To help with their testosterone and actually get them to actually have a child. Yeah, right. So I was like, fuck, that's sick. And we've got such a low testosterone thing going on in the world at the moment that I was just like, fuck, we got to do something about this. So we just did liver because it's high in zinc as well. So we did liver and testicles in capsules. You get 120 capsules. And you can buy the glass jar, and then you can get refills as well, which are much cheaper. So it's it's just a kind of an offering to the world that I know is going to help, man. When I had it the first time, I woke up with stiffies all night.
Did you? That's funny. I think last time, I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure you were just about to open the new gym when you're in here.
Really?
So now you're launching
Holy shit.
bull's testicles. Are they bull's testicles?
They're bovine, yeah. So that's a good question. Cow or bull, yeah.
Cow or bull, yeah.
Bull would be way more cool.
So
yeah.
Is there a side effect or not really from taking that much?
Not at the amount that we're going to allow people to take. Because you got to think in one capsule, we might only take 2 capsules a day, and then that's going to kind of just up your testosterone and you're having liver. Like we all know that liver and organ meats are the most nutrient dense food.
Liver
on the
is
planet.
king.
It is. It actually is, and it's not a lot of people. I'm not going to eat a liver, but we should be having it quite a lot. If we want to be talk about nutrient density, we need it, daily. So
just liver and testicles.
Just liver and testicles as a supplement to your already good diet, hopefully.
It's a good idea. I was eating a fair bit of it last year.
Yeah. Was that when you?
I was doing semen retention at the time. So
yeah, for sure. And was that when are you still getting up early and doing ice baths and shit like that?
Well, I don't have my ice bath at the moment set up, but I'm trying. Ever since I got back from Europe, it's been a struggle.
Yeah, true.
Because that's go to bed at midnight and get up at 8.
Yeah.
But soon we'll have an ice bath set up again. Yeah.
And how's all your stuff going with after you did your silent retreat and stuff like that and feeling, because I remember your energy was so high and you were just so thriving on that. How's it feeling, when you get back into...
It always kind of if you slip out of your routine of meditating every day, you start to...
You notice it, eh?
Yeah, you definitely notice it.
100%.
I mean, you'd notice Qigong if you don't do it.
Dude, 100%. Yeah, I try and do at least 5 minutes a day just to get it in. But I totally get it. When there's too much coffee and there's not enough meditation and you're just what's going on?
I meditated this morning actually for the first time it's before I went to Europe, and it did feel good. It's just nice and getting back into breath work, I did that as well.
Sick.
It's just that peace. I don't know. I think we kind of forget it when you're when you get too busy with work and you drink heaps of coffee and you're constantly stimulated.
100%.
You forget what that peace of just there's no mind. It's kind of just nothing.
Dopamine nation.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I feel you, man. And that's exactly where I'm at too. I fall in and out of it. There's been times where I've been really like yourself, when you're just on task and then business and coffee and everything else in your life, all these outward energies just kind of take over, and you get to a point where you're like, all right, fuck, enough's enough, boom, time to go back.
I saw you guys have the ice bath now in the gym, and I got a bit nervous. I was like, fuck, if I go in there, I don't even want to get in that thing.
You can't bitch it, eh?
Yeah.
No, we run it at 5 to 6 degrees, so we don't go lower than that, which is perfect. Because, I did one the other day at 1. It's not too much different. It just feels more like you go a bit number.
I almost prefer it because you do go numb straight away. You're not just it's this balance between.
True.
Whereas when you're numb, you're just okay, I'm fucking numb.
Yeah, for sure. Either way, it's hard on the mind.
It's hard,
yeah. The mind wants to get out of there, and you got to control that.
Yeah.
I was listening to Huberman talk about it yesterday, and he's like a sympathetically dominant human they're breathing too much into their chest. So when they breathe in, their diaphragm drops, their heart enlarges, and the other way, and vice versa when you're the opposite. And he was just saying ice, and it's teaching you how to, in the ice bath, it's teaching you how to like control that in such a like a reptilian, like fuck, I want to get out of here state. And he's like, it's the same with breath work. So that breath work, when you're like, you're ramping up your nervous system to think that it has to do something hectic, but then you're sitting in silence and peacefulness, and you're telling your brain that it's okay in that intense state of mind.
That makes a lot more sense. Yeah. Because then it allows us to deal with stresses in life, I imagine. Exactly,
for sure. Because then, you know, when you don't get taken away by your stress, you don't become your stress, you see your stress more, and you can... Ice bars have helped me. You know, that and chess has helped me so much in the last 6 months, dude.
Chess like, is... I don't know if it's helped me or made me look at my phone more.
Yeah.
But it is good. I mean, I've definitely... I don't know, chess. Let's talk. What's it helped you with, chess?
Oh, massively with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, like thinking ahead in steps. Like jiu-jitsu is very much like if you're like passing a guard and they're coming into you and you're like, okay, the arm bar's there, I could switch to that, or I could switch to the front headlock, I could switch to these things. You're thinking in ahead. And chess, what I just noticed a massive difference when I started playing chess, and I had to think about what they're doing and then what I'm doing, and my openings and middle games and end games. It's just, I was like, wow. And it just carried over so well. Yeah, right. It's crazy. It definitely made my jiu-jitsu much better.
And the ice bars, how did they change?
Because I was such a bitch.
I remember you saying that because you went to recovery room or something like that, and you struggled at 15 degrees or whatever.
At 15 degrees, I couldn't hop in, and my relationship with ice bars is my legs went complete. They go like 10 out of 10 pain, even if it was 15 degrees. I'm talking like pain that I've got a high pain tolerance. Like I broke my leg, I didn't, whimper too much. Like I know what
you surf Cyclops.
Yeah, like I know what real pain is. I've felt it. But this ice bath pain is right up there with some of the heaviest pain I've ever felt in my legs and my knees and stuff.
Yeah, I used to get around my knees, and I didn't know if there was inflammation there. That's why. Like, do you know why it was doing it?
You could be right. Could be inflammation.
My knees always used to hurt.
Yeah, I really don't know, to be honest. But Wim Hof was talking about it, and he's like, what you do is you need to like put your hands in for 5 seconds, take them out. Put your hands in for 10 seconds, take them out. So I started doing that at the Stay Elite. And then one day I was like, fuck it, I'll just put my whole leg in. And I did it, and that pain came up. And I pushed through for like 10 seconds of that pain, and I got out, and I was like fucking pacing around and curled up in a ball on the ground. And then the next day I did it again.
So it was that bad?
It was that bad, man. Yeah. And then one day it was about 14 degrees, and I hopped in, and I pushed through that pain so heavily. And then the next day again and again. And then now it got to a point where it's like, it's not that the pain comes still every time, but it's not as bad. It's probably at a 7 out of 10 now. And it's also just like, fuck it, what is it? It's just like,
I kind of wonder whether just thinking about Vipassana, and when you go through the pain and eventually like things come up, like your sankaras or like things you haven't dealt with, and then you mentally have to deal with them. I almost wonder whether you're just mentally getting rid of trauma.
I reckon. Fucking oath. Yeah, I reckon massively.
Is it the leg that you broke?
No, it's both legs.
Oh, it's both legs.
Or it's both hands. So it's my hand.
Yeah, right.
In my hands
your hands
as well.
too.
So I keep
a lot of people
out.
sit like that.
Yeah, I like that. Or I just have my hands out. I just go with whatever I feel like on the day. Like I haven't had one in a week, but I was doing them every day before that. So just kind of feel whatever you feel. But now I can do them at zeros, no problem. So it's just because I don't know. I just got to a point where I was like, fucking shut up, mind.
Do you have well, that's it. As soon as I find playing something in the background, I don't know, I guess didgeridoo or something would be good.
Yeah.
There's just some music that it almost takes your mind away that you're not thinking or something. It's something to just silence your mind.
It's massive,
breath obviously is the best way to do it. But what breathing technique do you do? Because I don't know a Wim Hof breathing for it. I normally just observe whatever my breath's doing. So if it goes to panic, I'm just watching it going, okay, and then it goes deeper or...
Yeah, so you are pretty chilled by nature. I reckon that would probably work for you. I use dragon's breath when I first hop in. So I'll hop in the ice bath and I'm pumping like a dragon, like like that, and then I'll go like maybe like 10 breaths of that, and then I go to 4 box breathing. So just like breathing in for 4, hold for 4, out for 4, hold for 4, and that's kind of what works for me. But I need that first like that intense breathing thing just to. I don't know. It just helps me a lot.
Oh, damn, yeah. I guess I'd probably do that sometimes in the cold shower. So cold shower's sometimes worse
because it's not cold enough.
Yeah, but you've also got like cold here, and it's like your arms are warm, so you're trying to cover it. But yeah, interesting. Is there a record in the gym?
Like a song?
No, like a ice bath record.
Nah, man. I'm not an extremist, and I don't think Callan is either. Like I do my 3 minutes and I get the fuck out.
Yeah, right.
I heard there was a person in recovery room or something the other day that did like 40 minutes.
Yeah, right.
And then fucking had to go out in a hospital, to hospital after it in an ambulance. Yeah. So it's like, I don't know.
What Joe Rogan do, 20 minutes or something?
Yeah, I mean, like,
so it's nuts.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. I feel like once you get to that 5-minute stage. Actually, I can't even speak on that. I don't know, but I think I've probably done about 5 minutes, and your body just goes numb and gets used to it. But then there must be another stage after.
I think I got to 8 once, and I got out and I was cold for the next fucking 2 hours. I was just shivering.
Yeah. I wonder if it's good for you. I wonder if it's good for you at that degrees.
Probably not.
Probably not.
What else is new? What's
Man, yeah.
What space are you in for people who don't know that are listening to my podcast? Like, what's Corrective Culture grown into if they heard your first episode?
So the first episode, we were just moving into the gym you said before, which is so funny because that was such a scary thing. And now that gym's all set up a year later, we got an ice bath, a sauna, we've got all our gear all paid for, everything's sorted. So we started our own supplement company as well called Corrective Culture Supplements. And that's gone really well. And we're helping a lot of people with like parasite and fungal infections, and the cleanse is going really well. We've got cacao powder now, we've got gelatin, we've got vitamin C, and what else have we got?
Coffee.
We've got our own coffee as well called Yang, which is fucking amazing. And then we're about to release King and Queen as well. So
talk me through the coffee because like obviously people look at it's quite expensive.
Yes.
But what's the process of getting it to you? Like what's different to buying it from?
Yeah, well, coffee is one of the most sprayed trees. So for it to grow in the masses and quicker, they spray it a lot, and also it's very, very humid because it has to be grown in a very hot environment. So ours is from Colombia, I believe. Yep, and it's brought over here. The only thing I got to really look into is because when it comes in bags, the beans are really like kind of like green. It's green coffee beans, and then have you looked into how coffee's made?
Not really. Man, I got a rough idea.
It's fucking crazy. Like it's slave labor.
Yeah,
basically for you to have that cup. So for people drinking coffee every day, like it's not just a cup of coffee. Someone's manually picked beans off trees, put them in a massive vat, which is like a swimming pool. The bad ones drop to the bottom, the good ones rise. Then they crack them open and take the beans out of the good leftover, like kind of bean holders. And then they bag them up and they send them over. Then they get cleaned. Then they get roasted. And then they get, ground up and poured into a cup of coffee.
So if the minimum wage of the third world countries increased, coffee would just be ridiculous in price.
Yeah, exactly. And I think ours is expensive because it is from overseas and it's certified. Like so ours would be certified organic if we could promise you that the roaster didn't roast any other coffee beans that weren't organic.
Yeah.
But they are only doing organic, but to get the certification
costs a lot.
Is so much money. So it'd be even more expensive. So we're working on it at the moment. We're talking to a few different things, but I just want to know that we're giving, because coffee is just a huge one, man. If you're stressed and you're drinking like sprayed coffee beans, there's nothing worse for your brain. And I've heard so many people say, don't blame the coffee, don't do this, don't do that. But let's ask ourselves, how do you feel when you drink 3 coffees a day for 6 months straight? I think you'll get your answer.
Tate drinks 11.
Yeah, well, that's I would call that like a fucking, that's not
addiction.
Good. That's not good, it's like...
I can't. If I start having 3 a day, I need to have a break.
Yeah,
because
man. It's crazy. Imagine like he's heading on his way to chronic fatigue or adrenal fatigue and burnout, and you just feel bad with coffee on that. I know it's looked at. There is some good benefits to coffee, but it's just like anything. Don't overdo it.
Overseas, Starbucks is busier at like 8 p.m. than it is at 8 a.m.
Wow.
You can't find coffee in the morning, but everyone's like drinking coffee at night, 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Like I'm talking all the Middle East, all of Europe. It's not. Right. It's weird. It's not just like one place. That's where you drink coffee.
Yeah. Well, I was at a restaurant last night, and then they're like, "Would you like a coffee, sir?" after dinner, and I was like, "Nah, no, thank you." Yeah, so bad.
That's funny.
I'm so sensitive to coffee that if I have more than one shot a day for like 2 weeks, I start to get anxious and a little bit angry and wound up. So my body, whether I have the gene or not to break down the caffeine molecule properly, I don't know. But
what do you do when that happens? When you feel that anxiety?
I cut back or I quit for a while. So the optimum coffee schedule is 9 days off a month to reset your adenosine receptors. So if you can do 3 weeks on, 9 days off, that's the way to do it. That's what Ben Greenfield does. And just switch to like that'll allow you to not be addicted as well, and not have like the headaches, the fatigue that you get when you quit. I get body aches and everything if I've done it. Yeah.
I find that I question, like I do this with everything. I kind of question, why do I do this? Why do I do this? With a lot of things. But sometimes I question why I'm at a coffee shop in the morning, because I'm just like, I didn't even want that.
Yeah, I know.
And it's just like, it becomes a habit. And
it does. Yeah, that's what I love about it. It's like for the morning I get up and I get online, I start hustling, that's what I love the most. Like I love having a coffee and just getting Corrective Culture pumping early. That's my favorite thing.
What's your routine look like?
I usually just go to, I'll have a bulletproof at home, or I'll go out and I'll have a coffee, and then I'll jump on Corrective Culture and answer some DMs. We get a lot of messages, or I'll promote our products, or I'll promote a blog that we're doing, or I'll promote whatever we can. Just we're trying to post like 3 or 4 times a day, so we're trying to just build the brand awareness and in every way. Yep. And just grow it, man. Help more people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then you train at what time?
I train, I quit training because my cortisol was high when I got my Dutch test. So I quit training at night and I only train a day. So I train Monday 9 a.m. Yep. And then I'll train Wednesday 9 a.m. for 2 hours each time. And then on Tuesday we train at lunchtime. And then on Thursday I have a day break. And then I train Friday night and Saturday.
Saturday morning open mat.
At Corrective Culture, which is like open to everyone. Yeah.
Yep. Cool. How's that going?
Yeah, it's going sick. It's like, it's kind of like you get like, I don't know, 5 to 20 people. Yeah. Yeah, so sometimes it'll be small and then sometimes it'll be a bit of a big crew.
And how'd the girls go actually with your, you've got a girls Corrective Culture?
Yeah, so it was going really well, but man, we got too busy.
Yep.
So we sat down with this business mentor and we're like, okay, well, our goal is to have, $5 million in 3 years. So we're like, is taking women's jiu-jitsu going to help us get it, and we're like, probably not. And is it draining us? Yes, it is. And it was our passion, and we might do it in the future when we've got someone to run it. But right now, we need all the energy we can get to push and do what we want to do and help as many people as possible. So it's just one of them things, like your goal lets you know you can let the other stuff fall off. Yeah. Yeah. So it was good.
That's cool. So what does the 5 million look like as a business for you guys? Like, who are you helping? Like, if I was to replay this in another year's time, like last time you said you're going to have this gym with all this stuff and you've got it. Yeah. What do you reckon Corrective Culture looks like at $5 million?
Yeah, so our personal goal is to own a duplex on the beach or near the beach. So Callan lives on one side, I live on the other, and then the business will pay that off. Then we also just want to travel, so really good quality of life. We want to travel around the world and film vlogs and show that you can be healthy on the road as well, and just teach people health. That's what we're passionate about. The business goal and my personal goal as well is to help as many people as possible. So the parasite cleanse is kind of doing that. We've had people that have had cancer do the cleanse. We've had people that have done a lot of things, and it's really improved their immune system and their overall well-being. That's what I'm passionate about. Like, man, we see every day. I had a guy who had anxiety, depression. He shut out a massive tapeworm or a mucus plaque. So, there's every day there's something new.
So how are they taking these photos?
Yeah, everyone. So personal experience, when I've shut out liver flukes before. What happens is you just feel like this pain in your stomach, and it's in an odd time where you usually don't do a shit, and you'll be like, "Fuck, I got to go to the toilet." That feels weird, or it's intense. It's like intense, and then you'll know, because you'll look back and have a look. So just have a look at your shit, and there's usually something in there.
And they're pulling them out of the toilet.
And it's usually water. It'll come out with water.
Yeah, right.
And then you'll just see this big thing, and you'll be like, "What the fuck?" Yeah.
I'm like, why are people taking photos of these? Like, how are they doing them?
Yeah, for sure.
Because I know someone told me with parasite cleanse, they put a colander in the toilet and chat on that. I'm like, fuck, I don't care enough. Like, if something come out, but because there's some fucked up photos on there.
Yeah, I know.
Like meter-long bloody worms.
Yeah, one of my friends from the UK, he shut out a massive tapeworm, man. And he just said he felt so wrong in his body. And he goes, I just needed to do the cleanse twice. Completely changed his life, man. Yeah, so he shut out a tapeworm like, fuck, it was like nearly a meter long.
What changed in his life?
Anxiety, depression. He just had this feeling of anxiety, and he said it just went away as soon as I got that, because you got this tapeworm that eating all your nutrients, dude. So you got a living. It's like having a little kid inside you that's eating all your food.
That's funny.
Yeah. So
that's
you get
crazy.
that out of it, your body can start to understand what's going on. You create a stronger environment for your gut microbiome. Yeah.
How many people would have something like that? Is there stats out or not really?
Yeah, there is actually. I think it's like 9 out of 10 people, man.
9 out of 10 people have those tapeworms?
Not tapeworms.
Oh, just parasites.
Parasite or fungal infection. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is, I think that's the most recent study done on it. I was listening to Paul Chek talk about it.
What about parasites that they would say aren't really
a problem?
Yeah.
Well, because that's what we are. We are a parasite. So we're going to live with parasites no matter what. It's just the balance. When you get a parasite infection, is infection meaning that there's too much of it.
Yeah.
And it's overriding the good. So you just want to bring it back into balance. And the way you do that is lifestyle choices as well, like stress. Stress is a massive one. All it comes down to is your organism being stronger than theirs. So, put yourself in the best position possible to not need medical drugs, not need fast food, like all that shit. Just fucking, organic food, good water. Make sure you're not getting sick all the time. Your body just gives you so many warnings, but...
It does.
Yeah.
It's like we were talking about the tooth before we started the podcast, and you've had a bit to do with your...
Root canal, yeah.
Root canal, yeah. I had that one removed. And just, I don't know, what did I do actually? I did cupping. You wouldn't have... I don't think I've posted the content from this podcast I did, but I did, cupping, dry cupping. And then the next day, this tooth, like, up to the top there hurt. And I was like, that's weird. And then, so I was like, I'm just going to, like, intuitively it felt like it was a cupping.
Yeah,
but I just left it, and then a week later we did it on the exact same spot. It was like black on the exact same spot.
Yeah.
Then the next day my tooth was just in so much fucking pain. I couldn't work. I was sitting there all day, just like my hand on my head. And then I had it, and then it like flared up into a cyst, and then I had to get my tooth removed.
So what part of was the cup on?
It was
on the back.
It was on my back right shoulder there. Yeah.
Yeah. So each tooth has a link.
Yeah.
To
a meridian.
To that part of the body, and I'm actually just about to learn all about that in check level 4 when I go over.
Yeah. Right.
I'm really excited to learn about that
because I had cupping. Like it wasn't. We just bought the cups, so we just like put them everywhere because I kind of like the feeling of them.
Yeah, fully.
And then there was just some that were just black, and others were just normal.
Yeah.
And then as soon as I got the root canal out, we're like, fuck it, let's put the cup there. Nothing. It was just gone.
Wow, that's crazy.
So they reckon that all root canals are infected.
Yeah.
Just to what extent?
Yeah.
So like they are all 100% infected.
Well, man, I got a fucking massive history of fillings and shit like that as a kid. So I grew up. My mum would always have a carton of Coke in the fridge, sugar, highly processed food. Probably until I was about 16. Actually, maybe even less. Like maybe 14. I moved in with my dad, and my mum was sick, so my brother lived with her. And I just started eating a little bit better because I was working at a bowls club, so I was eating steaks and things like that. But before then, it was just like Coca-Cola, everything like that. And I just remember I got so much trauma around being in that stupid van at school where they're just like fucking hammering into your teeth and grinding your teeth away. So my childhood of getting my teeth done and shit was fucked. But if you're listening, like, don't drink soft drink. Don't have refined sugars. There's a book I was talking about earlier by Weston A. Price called Nutrition and Physical Degeneration. And he's done the biggest study on dentistry ever. He went around to all the tribes around the world and worked out what was causing, because it doesn't just fuck with your teeth, it fucks with the shape of your face. Yeah. So if you're having refined sugar, you should be able to, there's a test they do where they put the thumb and finger like that. There should be that should be to your nose, So your index finger and your thumb on the bottom of your chin should reach your nose. And then if you go up to your nose, it should reach your forehead or just above your eyebrow. And then from there, this should reach your hairline if you have one.
And what happens
that's a natural thing. And he said if you're from a generation where you were just eating a lot of refined sugar, you'll see a lot of people with shortened mandibles or shortened, like crushed in face here.
Yeah, right.
And it carries on through generation.
Oh, wow.
And if you read a book called Pottinger's Cats, he talks about how one generation of bad food takes 3 to 4 generations of reversing that to get back to where they were at the start.
Yeah, wow.
So it leads you to think that there's a fucking how are we going to reverse it?
Yeah, exactly.
So just do your best. Don't drink shitty Coca-Cola and all that kind of stuff. Like if you're out and you're having a good time and you want a rum and Coke or whatever, or every now and then it's okay. Yeah. I'm not saying like be a saint, but
the problem with every now and again is kind of subjective to individuals.
Yeah. See, I don't have an addictive personality. Yeah. Every now and then to me is like that means every now and then.
Yeah, it's like I'll probably drink Coke once in 10 years to me.
Yeah, for sure. That's it. Yeah.
But some people might be like, just every Friday night.
Yeah, true. Yeah. So that's a good point. That's a really good point.
That's interesting because what I just thought instantly was, I started thinking about like generational wealth.
Yeah.
But you're also passing on generational genes where like your kids are going to be more ugly if they're going to be scrunched up and if you're eating shit. So you got to think about, I suppose there's like all the pillars, your health and
100%. It's like, and it goes as deep as emotions too. Like if you don't want to look at your deep, dark seated emotions and your desires in life and you think that that's not going to pass on to your kids, you're dreaming. Yeah. It's definitely going to pass on to your kids. And guess what? If you don't do the work now, it's going to pass on to them and they'll have to do the work. Yeah. That's how it works.
It just keeps going.
It just keeps going. Like I've noticed with Dad, he works on his emotions. It helps me. I work on mine. It helps him. So that's just the way it is. And it's all just to have a stronger bloodline.
100%.
Yeah.
It's one of the things I think about a lot now. This year, I've just been thinking about even... Like, it's not like I want to amass all this wealth to then just give to them because that actually won't work because then they'll fuck it up.
Yeah,
you almost want to, you want them to have the bare essentials to be able to be healthy and understand what health is, but then the wealth to be able to then create it themselves so they don't go and... Because I think if you also are someone who's just nuts on like organic food and you don't teach them why, they'll just rebel and go and
totally
eat shit food.
Yeah.
In the same way, if you just give the kids heaps of money, they might have enough money, but then their kids will be broke.
Yeah, I think the way to raise kids is and again, I don't have kids, but I think the way to raise kids is, and I think it'd be so hard, is to understand that it's completely their journey. And you can just do the very best you can with guiding them with what you know and be ready because they're probably going to teach you a lot more than you think.
That's true. That is true.
Yeah.
Well,
because there's nothing worse than a parent that thinks they know everything for their kid.
100%.
Because they're coming out as a realised being. They're going to teach you a lot.
Well, that goes to the that saying that you choose your parents before you come here.
Yeah, fully, There's nothing that pisses me off more, man, than parents that are just really like stubborn and like this is the way.
Yeah,
you know. I've had a deeper knowing that was just wrong. I'm like, well, you're not doing too good emotionally. Like, I'm not going to listen to you.
So how would you set out like principles to teach? I suppose
I'd look at the good mentors that I follow, like Ben Greenfield and Paul Chek, and proper king archetypes that teach their kids good values and they, all of that. That's what I'd look at, and I think I got a lot to learn there, and I think I'll only learn that when I have children. But I think that I'll be very open to their journey, and allowing whatever that is to flourish.
I think you're right in the values, like teaching to live a virtuous life, like all of the prophecies, or even Ram Dass would teach, and then like how to be a critical thinker, so you're not just going to follow blindly.
Yeah, fully. Yeah, like I wonder. I get a feeling as though it might be completely something other than what you think it's going to be.
Yeah.
With your children, because they're just going to come out and be completely their own being. So I guess you can guide them in with good food and stuff like that without pushing it onto them. I feel like if you push it onto them, they'd rebel because you don't want to do what your parents want you to do. You have to eat this. It's like, Fuck, it's a hard one, man. That is a paradox, having a child. I don't know. I don't have any answers because I don't have any. But I think that
one thing I do know is like if you don't have it, like I know I can't remember what it was the other day. Alicia was saying she had this a lot, and I was just like asking me which version I had, and I was just like, I don't think we had that in the house. Like, we didn't know it existed until I was older. So like if you don't ever have, you know, Cadbury or fizzy drink in your fridge, your kid will never know it exists, so they'll never have it.
Yeah,
and when you do have that, when you're old enough and discerning, you drink it and you're like, well, I don't feel that good on this.
Yeah, for sure. That's so true. Yeah, so I guess if you, like, I mean, Sheridan Austin's a really good example of, you know, her kids are just eating organic food and they just look so healthy and vibrant and they're very well behaved and, like... Have you ever seen them, like, spit the dummy? Like, Nah, like, not... Oh, I have, like, her younger one, but, like, not in the way of, like, a sugar tantrum. You know what I mean? It's not that. It's more just, like, what kids do, you know? Like, they're just, like, that's what they know. They're just, like... I don't like that, I like that and I'm happy. So, yeah.
But it's not like a come down off sugar.
Nah, I've seen kids that have sugar.
You probably were one of them.
I was one of them for sure, dude. And I think that's why, like, sugar just does not affect me now.
Yeah,
like,
right.
if I have, like, say, lollies or something like that, I don't really feel really up or I don't really feel really down. I think that's because... I was immune to it. I never eat it, but I just don't, it doesn't affect me too much. Well, it doesn't affect my brain. However, I think it would be affecting my nervous system, which is already pretty wound up. Yeah. So, is
corrective culture looked at like a child to you and Callan?
Yeah, for me, man, honestly, I think exactly what I said about having a child definitely plays out there. It's like having the ability to trust the universe's support of you at all times with it. But also knowing that at one day it could end and one day you're going to have to be okay with that because everything ends. And I think that you can't be too attached to money. You can't be too attached to the outcomes. You have to just be, because otherwise business will just eat you alive. Do everything in your power and your action to push and create your dream. But there's also this underlying thing where the universe has other plans for you and you just got to do your best. So... yeah, I think it is a baby for sure because it's like it's paying me, and that's a whole new thing. And
the way you now have employees, you'll have to, I suppose, start implementing the way you would treat your children, I suppose, to then them to run the business how you want.
Yeah, for sure.
But to also trust that in their own intuition that they'll do it differently, but they'll do the right thing.
Yeah, that's it, man. I think it's total trust, and everyone we've put on so far, I really do trust. Yeah, it's like we got Rani, who's Callan's sister, who's just like, it's not about the money, you know. All these people who work for us, they really want to work for us. Yeah, we've got Alana as well, so it doesn't feel like, you know, of course they're going to get paid, and we're going to pay them well because I want to bring people with me. But I can tell already that they're just amped to do the job because it's fun. Yeah.
But all those people want what's best for the business as well. They're not there.
They're
not just there for a pay. So like they'll work the extra and they really want to see corrective culture thrive.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, like Harry's been really, really good so far with the filming and stuff. He's sick. He's just learning heaps, and
he just said he's frothing to be around you guys. And that's it. If they want to learn more, the best thing they can do is hang around people who are a few steps ahead of them.
100%. Like he's been filming me do assessments on people, and I've been teaching him heaps and stuff. And he hasn't even done level 1 of his check stuff yet. So. When he does that, he's going to know a lot more than other people because he's been around it and he's had some hands on, and that's what I love it, man. I love helping people, and he's just like, he's helping us, so we're going to help him. That's the way this world works. So he's been amazing, man. Like really good.
I love how you speak about the business and or like, you know, the whole non-attachment to, you know, one day it might die.
Yeah.
But that's like, you know, your son might die too.
Yeah, that's it, eh? Yeah.
It's just something you have to be comfortable with. Obviously, you'll do everything in your power not to make it happen, but it's life that, you know, impermanence,
total
everything.
Trust, man. Yeah. Like, how could you know, like you could break a leg and not be able to work anymore. Yeah. And you might have to sell your house and you might have to do this, but man, that's when you really need to trust. So I like to think a lot of stuff's going good, man. That's the thing. That's the thing, man. Even when stuff goes good, you suffer. Yeah. Even when stuff goes bad, you suffer. I think it's harder when it's gone good.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to go back to when it was not that good, even though it felt the same kind of thing. You know what I mean? So,
well, you've got more to hold on to, I suppose, when you've got more.
Yeah.
So I suppose what's Ram Dass say about you kind of what you gain, then you've got to let go of, or is that what Lao Tzu said it?
Oh, maybe Lao Tzu.
You've got to keep like taking off the layers. Like if you gain something, if you gain something, you have to let something else go.
Mm-hmm. Well, and also it's scientifically proven with with dopamine. If you get the new car, which I just did, you get a big rush, but then he goes, "There's a deficit there." After a week or two, then that has to go low. And that's the thing. You need to understand that like they're just materials, and watch your highs as much as you watch your lows, because the lows are the ones you really remember, but the highs are actually what's the problem. Because that's what creates the lows as well. It's that balance of that like flow. So yeah, that's been interesting with business, because I said that to Callan the other day. We take a wage now, and it's been awesome. And I'm like, I don't want to go back to the, having to work for your dollar. Like this is me now. This is what I want to do. I'm fucking hyper focused on this. And then I was like, there's another thing I got to work on. It just came out of nowhere. You know what I mean? Like, what's so bad about trusting in the complete flow?
Yeah.
Like that might happen. I might have to go back to taking clients, and that's great.
Yeah.
There's nothing bad,
Yeah, 100%.
But fuck, you can get attached to cars, materials, houses, whatever that is, whether you're going to be 60 and not have any retirement money there, and then you think of yourself being unsupported, or your kids being unsupported. There's so much. But
it's funny because you need to, I don't think about that ever, that I'm going to have no money when I'm 60 or that unsupported. I feel like because I have enough trust in my ability or universe. But there's also a degree where you are also preparing as well because of what you're doing right now. But I feel like people who panic about it truly panic. They're not actually doing today what they should be doing.
That's so true.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree.
And with the car thing, it's like I've thought about this a lot. Like even hiring a luxury car, like if you go, oh fuck, I want a Lambo, just hire one for 2 days. You'll probably be sick of it.
Yeah, I know.
And it costs you $5,000 instead of 300.
100%. I got a new van and it's all fitted out and shit, and it's what it creates for me is freedom. And it's got a shower at the back, and I can have like after jits I can have a shower on the beach, and I don't need to use the public shower. I can go to any beach.
Yeah.
And like for me that makes a lot of sense. I couldn't imagine driving around in a flashy Porsche, and being like, that just does not make any sense to me. Like, like I don't get the whole fast car thing, but I get the like big 4-wheel drive if you want to go out, and if it creates freedom for you, and it, we're so lucky. Like if it's reliable, then it's sweet.
How good's van life,
dude? It's
so same with me, because I actually, I think I'm like, I've had the van 5 years. It's paid off now.
Yeah,
I could probably have a new fit out. Do I want a 4-wheel drive? Like, what car do I want? I'm like, well, this ticks all the boxes. I can put stuff in the back and go camping. I can put stuff on the roof.
You sound like me, dude.
Has a shower. Your shower's better.
Dude, I had
saw your shower and I'm like, fuck, I need a better shower.
Man, yeah. So is yours only 5 years old?
I've had it I had my loan 4 years and it paid off. So it must be 4 years. And it was the year before, it was 2017. Sick. So 6 years.
Yeah, nice. And it's, is it a small wheelbase or a long wheelbase?
Long wheel.
Sick. You could, like you can always just put like a fit out in it. Like
I've got a fit out.
Yeah, like if you wanted to go full ham, you know what I mean? Yeah, that guy that did mine's amazing.
Yeah. Is that Sunshine Coast based, isn't it?
Yeah, Sunshine Coast van fit outs. Yeah,
did he design it, or you tell him what you wanted?
I kind of told him what I wanted, and we just went back and forth, but he was so like good. Yeah, he helped so much, and we just like came up with this plan together, and then it's like my dream fit out pretty much. Yeah.
And you did your last one, did you?
Yeah.
Yourself, yeah.
It's very similar to my last one, but like done properly, professionally, like insulated and all that. And then huge battery and just big fridge and shit. So good.
How good's a big fridge?
Oh, it's good. Like right now I've got like coconut water in there and
Coca-Cola.
Kombuchas and Coca-Cola. It's fucking good, man. It's sick. I love it. I wouldn't have it any other way. Sheridan Sean got an Audi R4, RS4 or something like that, a wagon. Yep. That makes sense to me. Like it's fucking luxury, but you can still put surfboards and shit in the back, and it's got room. Yeah, maybe a wagon or a full drive or something. That makes sense, but I like it now. I love how we got deviated into cars. Those rims are fucking sick. You got 22s.
But the van, I don't know, the van actually fits into exactly what maybe I'm resonating because you're talking about business, how I would talk about it, and then we're both talking about vans. Fully. So we kind of have the same mentality when
100%, Yeah, I remember when you got your new van, and I was like, And I was like...
You were the reason I got it, because you did that first filming at Pottery Studio.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, sick. I'm getting one of these.
Yeah, and then you got the new one. I was like, fuck, you got the new one. I want the new one. 5 years later.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah, man. Fuck, that's great.
It's actually sick to see I don't know, even John Kyle, like that started same time as Pottery Studio. And obviously I don't put heaps of energy like you guys do with Corrective Culture, but just watching us all kind of, everyone even on track, just moving up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And having similar philosophies.
Yeah. It is cool, man. The Sunshine Coast has some really amazing people doing some amazing stuff, and all going for the hero's journey. Whereas it's not just cafe workers, it's not just tradies. Like you can now here, you can really start to create and do what you want if that's what you want to do.
What's the hero's journey?
The hero's journey is just like that little voice inside, I think, that tells you that you don't love what you're doing. Like, say you're at your job and you're concreting or something like that, and you just have this feeling that there's something bigger for you.
Yeah,
it's time to fucking change and chop and start figuring out what that is. And listen to your inner guidance more, and not just fall into the trap of that like group ego of just getting up every day and doing that if that's not what you're feeling called to do. Like some people do feel called to do that, and fuck, we need that. We need all of these jobs. I'm just saying, for someone who's not on the track that they feel like they should be on.
Yeah, definitely.
Because that's what the blueprint for depression is. If you're not on the, like, if you're not where you think you should be, that's when depression comes in.
And I think on top of that, what we talked about before of like when you've got all the highs, it's kind of, you have more pain. And I think the best way is actually to, like, I think like a drug addict's always looking for their high and they're always in a low. Yeah. But if you're always kind of putting yourselves in pain, like the ice bath, or like, bring out a new product and it takes a lot of your energy, there's always, you're always happy. Whereas if you're seeking the high, you're always miserable.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. You got to do a lot of stuff that sucks. And
but that's ultimately why we're happy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, we're not unhappy people, and we're doing all the sucky things.
Yeah, for sure, man. Like, rocking up to jiu-jitsu on Monday morning for me is like a real good one, because it's like 2 hours of training, and I love it once I'm there, but like it's a hard, because I'm like, it's a big energy out for the start of the week, and it's like, but I feel great after it because I'm like, fuck, that was my, I'm on track now for the week. Yeah. It's that little inner bitch that wants to go back to bed.
Well, that was me this morning. I woke up, alarm went off, then I tried to get through the corridor, but there's like this baby fence because I'm staying at my cousin's. Yeah. And I tried to get through it, but I can't fucking see it. Didn't want to turn the light off. Didn't want to wake the 2-year-old up. I'm like, fuck it. I went back to bed and I laid down and I'm like, no, I'm going to fucking go back to sleep. So I got back up again. I'm trying to open this stupid thing. But that was my excuse. I was like, oh, there's a fence there. I'll just go to sleep. Your mind always wants to just, there's my reason. I don't need to train today.
For sure. And that's like a good idea, is just to find a purpose and be like, okay, what is my purpose again? I need to have $3 million in this amount of time, or I need to be this fit. I need to lose this much amount of weight before in the next year. Is me going back to bed right now going to help that or not?
And the money thing is like, I mean, you obviously want the money for financial freedom, but I feel like obviously the main driver, if it was just money and I said, look, we can go and let's use concreting for the example, and I could make you $3 million way quicker, you wouldn't do it because not really the money. But I also think there's people that would listen to this and go, oh, Jake's, you got so lucky. It's obviously an industry, you're going to make heaps of money. But like, that's just bullshit for starters. But there's also, I think, Australia, having been in Jordan and Turkey, and I'd even say Greece, just Europe in general, I'd say Australia is the best place, other than probably America. I haven't been there lately, but I'd say Australia is the best place to make money if you want to set up. Like, we have a really good minimum wage, even though people think it's shit. Yeah. And even though it sounds like it's shit here, when you go over there, you realise how good we have it. Because it's fucked over there.
Yeah, 100%, man. Everywhere else is fucked. We live in a very, very clean
and privileged place. And we can make money here. Like, if you want to make money, you can connect with people who make money and you can figure out how to make money.
Yeah, for sure.
So when people use the excuse that they, are so lucky, like you're whatever, this person or whatever, eventually Harry will be like, oh, you got so lucky because you knew Corrective. No, fucking he started making videos for you guys and, just put his ass on the line.
We both talked about that too. I said that to him before he even worked for us. I was like, if you want to work for someone, figure out a way you can help them, do the work first, come to them with the work that you've already done and say, I did all of this for you. Is it okay if I just keep doing this for a month? Try and tell me that.
That's the best way to do it.
As if they're not going to employ you.
He did it to me as well, and I actually, because I haven't used the content, and I'm like, fuck, I actually feel like I need to give him something. But I don't, like, you know what I mean? Because he's done so much work. And you can do that with anything.
Yeah, 100%. You can do that with videography, photography.
Like in construction, there is so many things you can go up to. And if you have an idea and you're like, oh, this person could benefit, do it for them, show that it works, and then they'll pay you for it.
Yeah, that's it. And yeah, I always did that with my filming. That's why I did successful in that. I think like I did well in that, and I think that's the biggest key is just don't talk about it, just do it.
Yeah.
And start somewhere. I knew I really had to trust in the universe when I started Jake Stone Films, because I didn't really think I was good enough. But I was like, fuck it. I'm a filmer now, and I'm just going to go for it. And whatever happens, happens, man. Within a month, I had so much work, and I was making sick money. And I was like, fuck, is this for real? Like, the universe really does reward you if you just take the leap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you find that more good things happen to you the more you just, are good, but also just go for it?
You just go for it, man.
It just comes back.
Like, we've got this new product. I don't even know how we're going to pay for this new product yet, but it always works.
You never worry either.
It's like, fuck it.
That's one thing I have noticed, like if I don't know, especially for the pottery studio, because I'm not taking any wage out of it because I just let the business run, but there's, because I'm not in it a lot, there's like times where it's low and I'm like, fuck, we got all these costs coming up. But then I don't worry about it and I think of something and then it just happens.
Fully.
I never put money in or the universe comes.
It does, man.
Here you go.
It comes all over you. It does though, man. It's the truth, and that's it. You got to learn. I know I've said it a few times today, but trust in the universe's total support of you at all times, and there's nothing more true than that. Like, because it's gonna support you, even when you're down and out, it'll support you. So
beautiful way to end the podcast, I think.
Yeah, sick.
Because you didn't actually say it on the podcast. You said it before we started.
Oh, okay, sick.
Say it again if you want.
Yeah. Trust in the universe's total support of you at all times. It's actually off Arnold Payton Universal Principles. So look at that, there's 19 of them, and I read them almost every day. They're really good.
Have you got the, just on a book recommendation, Harry's reading it now, and I'm also reading it. You've read the Tao Te Ching?
Yes.
And you've got Wayne Dwyer's verses?
Yes.
The verses, but he goes and...
Yeah, with the binaural beats kind of thing?
No, it's a book.
Oh,
so the verse is there, like verse 1, and then he talks for like a page or two about what Lao Tzu meant by that quote.
Oh, okay. I haven't got the book, no.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but I fucking love it, man. And
it's awesome.
That's the way the Tao, how he talks about how, like not forcing. It's like everything we've talked about today, like not forcing. Those who don't know talk.
Yeah.
Those who know don't talk.
Yeah.
That's a big one.
Very big.
So
I think that shaped me a lot because I read the Tao Te Ching when I was 21. I was trekking through Nepal. So I was reading it. I was walking, and a lot of that philosophy rang true to the way I now live my life.
Yeah, I listen to it almost every day as well. I always have it on YouTube. Yeah, and just listen to because each thing is so profound.
Yeah,
you listen to it once, and then you listen to it 6 months later again. That same thing, and you're like, "Fuck, that meant more to me this time," or it meant something different to me this time. So, yeah, it's fucking amazing. Read that book if you haven't. Lao Tzu, the Tao Te Ching. I always used to call it the Tao Te Ching.
Yeah, I don't know because I say Tao and people are like, what? And I'm like, Tao.
The T is silent, I think. Yeah.
Oh, is it Ao?
No, it's Tao.
Tao.
People call it Tao.
Yeah.
The Tao Te Ching.
I say Tao, but then people are like, what?
Yeah.
But I think not many people know about it.
Oh, the book?
Yeah, like
really?
Taoism. I don't think many people know about Taoism.
Yeah, true.
But when I finished my last Vipassana, it was a Chinese guy, and I asked him if he knew about it. Obviously, he knows about it, but he was so surprised that I'd read it because it's like the ancient Chinese.
Yeah.
I guess Bible.
It's basically a Bible. Yeah. But fuck, the best kind.
He was so humbled that I've read it.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, that's sick. Because, in Western culture, I don't think there'd be many people that would have read it.
And China now, they don't, obviously, the communist China's not pushing.
Oh, right. Yeah, true.
Taoism.
True. Yeah, fully. They're like, the latest iPhone's out. Yeah, sick.
But yeah, awesome.
Yeah, thanks for having me on again.
It was great to have you.
Yeah, respect.
Thank you.
Like the mudra. Powerful.